Lesson 135. If I defend myself, I am attacked. Who would defend himself unless he thought he were attacked, that the attack were real, and that his own defense could save himself? And herein lies the folly of defense. It gives illusions full reality, and then attempts to handle them as real. It adds illusions to illusions, thus making correction doubly difficult. And it is this you do when you attempt to plan the future, activate the past, or organize the present as you wish. You operate from the belief you must protect yourself from what is happening because it must contain what threatens you. A sense of threat is an acknowledgement of an inherent weakness, a belief that there is danger which has power to call on you to make appropriate defense. The world is based on this insane belief, and all its structures, all its thoughts and doubts, its penalties and heavy armaments, its legal definitions and its codes, its ethics and its leaders and its gods, all serve but to preserve its sense of threat. For no one walks the world in armature but must have terror striking at his heart. Defense is frightening. It stems from fear, increasing fear as each defense is made. You think it offers safety. Yet it speaks of fear made real and terror justified. Is it not strange you do not pause to ask, as you elaborate your plans and make your armor thicker and your locks more tight, what you defend and how and against what? Let us consider first what you defend. It must be something that is very weak and easily assaulted. It must be something made easy prey, unable to protect itself and needing your defense. What but the body has such frailty that constant care and watchful deep concern are needful to protect its little life? What but the body falters and must fail to serve the Son of God as worthy host? Yet it is not the body that can fear, nor be a thing of fear. It has no needs but those which you assign to it. It needs no complicated structures of defense, no health-inducing medicine, no care and no concern at all. Defend its life, or give it gifts to make it beautiful, or walls to make it safe, and you but say your home is open to the thief of time, corruptible and crumbling, so unsafe it must be guarded with your very life. Is not this picture fearful? Can you be at peace with such a concept of your home? Yet what endowed the body with the right to serve you thus, except your own belief? It is your mind which gave the body all the functions that you see in it, and set its value far beyond a little pile of dust and water. Who would make defense of something that he recognized as this? The body is in need of no defense. This cannot be too often emphasized. It will be strong and healthy if the mind does not abuse it by assigning it to roles it cannot fill, to purposes beyond its scope, and to exalted aims which it cannot accomplish. Such attempts, ridiculous yet deeply cherished, are the sources for the many mad attacks you make upon it. For it seems to fail your hopes, your needs, your values, and your dreams. The self that needs protection is not real. The body, valueless and hardly worth the least defense, need merely be perceived as quite apart from you, and it becomes a healthy, serviceable instrument through which the mind can operate until its usefulness is over. Who would want to keep it when its usefulness is done? Defend the body, and you have attacked your mind. For you have seen in it the faults, the weaknesses, the limits, and the lacks from which you think the body must be saved. You will not see the mind as separate from bodily conditions, and you will impose upon the body all the pain that comes from the conception of the mind as limited and fragile and apart from other minds and separate from its source. These are the thoughts in need of healing, and the body will respond with health when they have been corrected and replaced with truth. This is the body's only real defense. Yet is this where you look for its defense? You offer it protection of a kind from which it gains no benefit at all, but merely adds to your distress of mind. You do not heal, but merely take away the hope of healing, for you fail to see where hope must lie if it be meaningful. A healed mind does not plan. It carries out the plans that it receives through listening to wisdom that is not its own. It waits until it has been taught what should be done and then proceeds to do it. It does not depend upon itself for anything except its adequacy to fulfill the plans assigned to it. It is secure in certainty that obstacles cannot impede its progress to accomplishment of any goal that serves the greater plan established for the good of everyone. A healed mind is relieved of the belief that it must plan, although it cannot know the outcome which is best, the means by which it is achieved, nor how to recognize the problem that the plan is made to solve. It must misuse the body in its plans until it recognizes this is so. But when it has accepted this as true, then is it healed and lets the body go. Enslavement of the body to the plans the unhealed mind sets up to save itself must make the body sick. It is not free to be the means of helping in a plan which far exceeds its own protection, and which needs its service for a little while. In this capacity is health assured. For everything the mind employs for this will function flawlessly, and with the strength that has been given it, and cannot fail. It is, perhaps, not easy to perceive that self-initiated plans are but defenses, with the purpose all of them were made to realize. They are the means by which a frightened mind would undertake its own protection at the cost of truth. This is not difficult to realize in some forms which these self-deceptions take, where the denial of reality is very obvious. Yet planning is not often recognized as a defense. The mind engaged in planning for itself is occupied in setting up control of future happenings. It does not think that it will be provided for unless it makes its own provisions. Time becomes a future emphasis to be controlled by learning and experience obtained from past events and previous beliefs. It overlooks the present, for it rests on the idea the past has taught enough to let the mind direct its future course. The mind that plans is thus refusing to allow for change. What it has learned before becomes the basis for its future goals. Its past experience directs its choice of what will happen, and it does not see that here and now is everything it needs to guarantee a future quite unlike the past, without a continuity of any old ideas and sick beliefs. Anticipation plays no part at all, for present confidence directs the way. Defenses are the plans you undertake to make against the truth. Their aim is to select what you approve and disregard what you consider incompatible with your beliefs of your reality. Yet what remains is meaningless indeed. For it is your reality that is the threat which your defenses would attack, obscure, and take apart and crucify. What could you not accept if you but knew that everything that happens, all events, past, present, and to come, are gently planned by one whose only purpose is your good? Perhaps you have misunderstood his plan, for he would never offer pain to you. But your defenses did not let you see his loving blessing shine in every step you ever took. While you made plans for death, he led you gently to eternal life. Your present trust in him is the defense that promises a future undisturbed, without a trace of sorrow, and with joy that constantly increases as this life becomes a holy instant, set in time, but heeding only immortality. Let no defenses but your present trust direct the future, and this life becomes a meaningful encounter with the truth that only your defenses would conceal. Without defenses, you become a light which heaven gratefully acknowledges to be its own. And it will lead you on in ways appointed for your happiness according to the ancient plan, begun when time was born. Your followers will join their light with yours, and it will be increased until the world is lighted up with joy. And gladly will our brothers lay aside their cumbersome defenses, which availed them nothing and could only terrify. We will anticipate that time today with present confidence, for this is part of what was planned for us. We will be sure that everything we need is given us for our accomplishment of this today. We make no plans for how it will be done, but realize that our defenselessness is all that is required for the truth to dawn upon our minds with certainty. For 15 minutes twice today, we rest from senseless planning and from every thought that blocks the truth from entering our minds. Today we will receive instead of plan, that we may give instead of organize, and we are given truly as we say, if I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong, and I will learn what my defenses hide. Nothing but that. If there are plans to make, you will be told of them. They may not be the plans you thought were needed, nor indeed the answers to the problems which you thought confronted you. But they are answers to another kind of question, which remains unanswered, yet in need of answering, until the answer comes to you at last. All your defenses have been aimed at not receiving what you will receive today. And in the light and joy of simple trust, you will but wonder why you ever thought that you must be defended from release. Heaven asks nothing. It is hell that makes extravagant demands for sacrifice. You give up nothing in these times today when, undefended, you present yourself to your Creator as you really are. He has remembered you. Today, we will remember Him. For this is Easter time in your salvation, and you rise again from what was seeming death and hopelessness. Now is the light of hope reborn in you, for now you come without defense to learn the part for you within the plan of God. What little plans or magical beliefs can still have value when you have received your function from the voice for God Himself? Try not to shape this day as you believe would benefit you most. For you cannot conceive of all the happiness that comes to you without your planning. Learn today. And all the world will take this giant stride and celebrate your Easter time with you. Throughout the day, as foolish little things appear to raise defensiveness in you and tempt you to engage in weaving plans, remind yourself this is a special day for learning, and acknowledge it with this. This is my Easter time, and I would keep it holy. I will not defend myself because the Son of God needs no defense against the truth of His reality. ACIM. Lesson 135. If I defend myself, I am attacked. Who would defend himself unless he thought he were being attacked? You don't build a wall unless you believe something's coming for you. But here's the twist. Even if you were attacked, what makes you think your defense could save you? This is the folly of defense, not just its mistake, but its foolishness. It makes illusions seem real, and then scrambles to fight them as if they are real. It adds shadow to shadow, fog to fog, making clarity harder to find. It's like drawing a monster, then blaming it for chasing you. You make the puppet, then cry when it dances. That's the double bind of illusion. You make up a person, project a world, and now you're shadow boxing what you made. That's what it means when it says defense adds illusions to illusions. It's why every attempt to clean it up only makes a bigger mess. And here's the real punchline. This is what you do when you plan the future. Planning is just the past rebranded. To activate the past means to resurrect it, like swiping a credit card and wondering why the charges keep showing up. You organize the present as you wish, trying to control the uncontrollable. Arguing with reality, trying to put makeup on a dream and call it safety. You defend yourself because you believe something's happening to you. And if it's happening to you, then you must be under threat. But threat implies weakness. And how can the changeless Son of God be weak? What could threaten the whole of everything? Only the belief in separation. The world is based on this insane belief that danger is real and you must be prepared for it. So it builds structures, borders, systems, economies. It manufactures thoughts, judgments, fears, opinions. It brews doubts about worth, safety, love. It hands out penalties, prison, guilt, exclusion. It clutches armaments, weapons, armies, surveillance. It writes legal codes, ethical codes, dress codes. It elects leaders. It worships false gods. All to preserve the illusion that you're not safe. To keep fear close like a loaded gun under the pillow. For no one walks the world in armor unless terror still sleeps in his heart. Defense is frightening. It stems from fear, and every defense just adds to the pile. You think it's protecting you, but it's really confirming your belief in attack. It whispers, "You should be afraid. Look how prepared I am." That's why fear feels justified, because you made the case for it. Strange, isn't it, how you never pause to ask what you're really defending? What's behind the camera system, the locks, the backup plan? More armor, more strategy, but for what? What is it that you're really defending? And against what invisible ghost are you building this fortress? Let's ask honestly, what is it that you defend? It must be something fragile, something that can be hurt, something made into easy prey. The body fits that description, doesn't it? Soft skin, aging muscles, fragile bones. A thing so frail it seems to need constant care and surveillance. To protect its little life, as the Course calls it. We treat the body like a sacred container, as if it were worthy to host the divine. But it falters. It wears down. It gets tired. It aches. It fails. And it cannot serve the Son of God as a worthy host. Yet, this is the turn. It is not the body that can fear. And it's not something to be feared either. It's just a puppet, moved by meaning you assign. It has no needs but those you tell it to have. It doesn't need food unless you say it does. It doesn't need medicine, grooming, exercise, status, unless you command it. It doesn't need gates or gifts or guards. You defend its life like it's a treasure chest and decorate it like it's your resume. But your home, this body, is wide open to the thief of time. It is corruptible. It is crumbling. And so unsafe, you try to guard it with your very life. Yet you are not the body. And the body has never been what's truly at stake. Is this not a terrifying picture we've painted? Calling a bag of bones our home, calling decay our legacy, and then trembling every time it twitches. Can peace live in a house we're secretly afraid of? Who said the body deserved this role? Who promoted dust to divinity? It was the mind. The mind crowned it. The mind handed it a scepter and said, "Rule over me." It gave the body jobs it was never made to hold: protector, provider, identity, boundary, billboard, mask. It placed a fragile throne on shifting sand, then blamed the throne for sinking. And yet the truth is still, the body needs no defense. You hear that? No defense, no sword, no alarm system, no story. You can't oversay this. It's not too much. It's not too radical. It's reality. And if the mind stops abusing it, stops making it a martyr, a model, a mission, it will rest. It'll be strong, healthy, balanced. But you keep dragging it into roles it can't play. You want it to be your God, your source, your passport to love. You make it try to fulfill dreams that don't even belong to it. That's the setup. That's the betrayal. Then when it fails, you say the body failed you. But it's not the body that betrayed the mission. It's the confusion of identity. Because the self that needs protection is not real. Read that again. Let it interrupt your whole belief system. The you you're trying to keep safe isn't you. It's a costume made of needs. The body isn't worthy of defense because it isn't you. And when you finally see it that way, not as you, not as threat, not as savior, it becomes useful, like a pen in your hand, a vehicle, a bridge. You use it while it's useful, and then you let it go. You don't cry at the end of a rental agreement. You hand back the keys with peace. But if you defend the body, you've made a bigger mistake. Because to defend it means you've made it a stand-in for the mind. And now the mind is under attack. You've taken your own divine inheritance, limitless, shared, radiant, and tried to cram it into a dying thing. And worse, you now believe the mind is as fragile as the flesh. You project your fear, your lack, your separation onto a screen that was never meant to bear your guilt. And it cracks under the weight. Because the mind, when it forgets itself, becomes afraid of itself. And it sends the body out like a scared messenger shouting, "Protect me, protect me." Now your sacred sunbeam, your true essence, thinks it's a prison sentence. The body limps under the weight of thoughts that were never healed. I'm alone. I'm unsafe. I'm apart from God. That's the real disease. That's the mind bleeding into the flesh. But now here's the pivot. These thoughts, the ones laced with separation, soaked in lack, are the ones in need of healing. Not your bones, not your back, not your blood, your beliefs. And when the beliefs are corrected, the body echoes back that peace. Not because it's real, but because it's no longer distorted. Its only true defense is your clarity. But is that where you go for protection? Do you sit in silence and examine your thoughts? No, you look outward. To pills, to guards, to walls, to double-bolted stories. You offer it a defense it can't use and then wonder why it's still breaking. All it did was magnify your distress, not just in the skin, in the mind. Because the more you try to patch the screen, the more you forget the projector. You don't heal this way. You delay healing. You deny healing. Because hope can't live in a plan built on lies. Hope lives where truth lives, and truth lives in the recognition of cause. Mind first. Everything else is just the echo. The healed mind does not plan. Why not? Because a healed mind doesn't pretend to know. It doesn't scheme, doesn't hustle, doesn't grip the steering wheel with white knuckles. A healed mind listens, like a servant who trusts the bell. It receives its marching orders from a wisdom not its own. It doesn't pace the floor waiting for inspiration. It waits to be shown. And once it knows, it moves, not out of fear, not out of lack, but out of guidance. It depends on nothing except the certainty that it can do what it was given to do. That's the only confidence it carries. What God asks, I can do. It knows that no obstacle can block what serves the whole. Because a plan that's good for everyone doesn't run on personal timelines. And that's why your plan can never be the plan. You don't even know what's good for you. So how could you ever know what's good for everyone? That's the humility of a healed mind. Not passive, not weak, just available. Like a sail, not a motor. A healed mind is relieved of the need to plan. It drops the burden of trying to play chess with the future, because it knows it cannot see the whole board. It cannot know what outcome is truly best. It cannot know the means or even the real problem it thinks it's solving. And until this is seen, the body will be misused, dragged into false purposes, forced into proving, seducing, defending, conquering. But the moment this truth is accepted, the body is released. You don't ask a lamp to teach. You don't ask a fork to love. You use what it's for, and then you put it down. That's what it means to let the body go. Let it serve, let it function, then let it fade. The unhealed mind enslaves the body with its panic. It turns the body into a mule for its madness. And this will make the body sick. Why? Because it's not free. Not free to just serve, moment by moment, in a plan far bigger than itself. The plan doesn't ask for sacrifice, it asks for availability. The body is needed only for a little while, like a cup needed to carry water. When it serves this purpose, health is assured. Because it's no longer overworked or over-identified with. It becomes what it was, a tool, not a temple. Everything the mind uses in alignment with truth functions flawlessly. Not perfectly by the world's standards, but without distortion. And when the plan comes from God, it comes with strength. You'll have the will, the tools, the timing, and the grace. And you cannot fail. But your own plans, they will always exhaust you. Because they're always fighting the current. Now here's the dagger. It's not easy to realize that self-initiated plans are defenses. But that's exactly what they are. They are armor disguised as ambition. They are fear wrapped in logic. Their real purpose is always the same: protect the self, deny the truth. They say, I can make myself safe without God. They are the frightened child building a fort of pillows in the dark. And sometimes that's easy to spot, in obvious addictions, escapes, obsessions. But planning is sneaky. It wears a suit, it has spreadsheets, it sounds responsible. But most of the time, it's just a defense wearing a Rolex, a mask made of calendars. And the whole time it's saying, if I don't do this, who will? The mind that plans for itself is trying to control the future. It's trying to pin down what hasn't happened yet. It doesn't believe it will be taken care of. So it stockpiles, schemes, grips, guards. It trades its peace for an illusion of certainty. And in doing so, it erases the present. Because it thinks the past has taught it enough to predict what's next. It thinks, I've seen this before. I know how this ends. But that's not faith. That's trauma on a loop. It's experience trying to replace trust. It's control pretending to be wisdom. The past becomes a tyrant, and the future becomes a spreadsheet. And all the while, the present, the holy instant, is ignored. But God does not speak in the past. God does not wait in the future. He is here, now, whispering, let go. Let me show you what to do. If I defend myself, I am attacked. The mind that plans is thus refusing to allow for change. Let that land. It's refusing to let things unfold differently than what it already decided. It says, I already know what needs to happen. And just like that, the present becomes irrelevant. The past becomes the architect, the blueprint, the tyrant. And the mind, trapped in anticipation, doesn't notice the miracle in the now. What it learned before, that becomes the law of tomorrow. And it cannot see that here and now contains everything it needs to guarantee a future unlike the past. Not a remix, not a repeat, but a clean break. A future without dragging the corpse of old beliefs behind it. Because when you trust the now, you don't need to anticipate. Present confidence directs the way. And that's not just a spiritual slogan, it's a metaphysical truth. The now carries the wisdom. The now carries the provision. The now is your GPS from God. Defenses are the plans you undertake to make against truth. They're not protection, they're rejection. They say, let me curate reality so it doesn't challenge my beliefs. They aim to filter, to approve only what fits the script. You keep what supports your identity. You block what feels like contradiction. But what's left after that filtering? A tiny sliver of truth, a world that's been chopped up to suit the ego. And that's meaningless, because, and this is the stunner, it is your reality that feels like the threat. It's your truth that your defenses are trying to bury. They want to attack it, obscure it, tear it apart, crucify it. Your own light is the thing your ego built a cage for. And now you're tired, because truth isn't dead, it just waits. What could you not accept as if you truly knew that everything that happens, all events, past, present, and to come, are gently planned by one, not many, not chaos, one. And that one's only goal is your good. You believe in good and bad, so spirit uses what you believe. But the one who plans your way does not. He just is. And what he offers is never pain. Maybe you misunderstood the plan. Maybe it didn't look like your version of success. Maybe it felt like delay, or loss, or not enough. But he never offered pain. Your defenses are what blocked the blessings. They kept you from seeing his fingerprints in every step, because they were there, in every step you took. While you made plans for death, plans built on fear, control, self-preservation, he led you gently to eternal life. Gently, like a blanket over a sleeping child. Your present trust in him is your real defense, not your past, not your plan, not your preparation. Present trust is the open door to a future without sorrow. A future where joy doesn't just return, it increases. Can you imagine that? A joy that doesn't plateau, a joy that keeps expanding. A joy not based on conditions, but on presence. Because when this life becomes a holy instant, something radical happens. Set in time, yes, but heeding only immortality. You appear to be in time, but you take your orders from timelessness. You walk in the illusion, but you listen to eternity. That's what it means. So let no defenses guide your way. Let trust direct the future. Let now be your compass. Let God be your planner. And your life becomes a meaningful encounter with the truth. A truth only your defenses were hiding. Without defenses, you become a light. Not metaphorically, literally. A light that heaven sees and says, "This is mine." Heaven acknowledges you because now you acknowledge heaven. And this light, it leads you. In ways appointed for your happiness. Appointed, not random, not vague, appointed. According to the ancient plan, the one that began the moment time began. Why was there a plan? Because you believed in time. And God knew you'd need a way home. So, the moment you dreamed the clock, he dreamed the correction. This plan is just in time. Like in accounting, JIT, just in time. No hoarding, no storing, no stockpiling. The resources arrive exactly when they're needed, not before, not after, just in time. And when your light shines, others will follow, not because you preached, but because you glowed. Your followers, those who resonate, will join their light with yours, and the world will be lit with joy. Joy will become contagious. And when people see that, they'll finally lay down their defenses. Those heavy, cumbersome things they thought they needed. They'll see they never helped. They only terrified the mind. And when we see that, when we all see that, we'll return. Together, lit, free, ready. We will anticipate that time today with present confidence. Because this moment, was always part of the plan. We don't need to prepare. We don't need to organize. Everything we need to accomplish this day will be given. We make no plans for how it will be done. We just show up, empty-handed and open-hearted. Because our defenselessness is all that's required. That's what lets truth dawn in the mind. Not effort, but openness. Certainty doesn't come from calculation. It comes from release. So today, for 15 minutes, twice, we rest. We rest from senseless planning, from the clutter, the spreadsheets, the stress, from every thought that blocks the truth from entering in. Today, we do not plan. We receive. We do not organize. We give. And in doing so, we say, not with strain, but with sacred joy. If I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong, and I will learn what my defenses have tried to hide. And what did they hide? They hid love. They hid peace. They hid God. That's it. Nothing but that. And if there are plans to be made, we'll be told. But they may not be the kind of plans we were expecting. They may not be the answers to the problems we thought we had. Because the real problem wasn't what we thought. They are answers to another kind of question. A question we haven't been brave enough to ask. A question buried beneath all the ones we've been obsessed with. Like a white elephant sitting in the room. Ignored, avoided, but still there. And it waits. The one unanswered question, still in need of answering. And the moment that answer comes, everything shifts. All your defenses, every single one, was aimed at not receiving what you are going to receive today. But when you sit in simple trust, when you stop fighting, stop editing, stop filtering, you'll wonder why you ever thought you needed to be defended from release. Heaven asks nothing of you. It doesn't demand, doesn't punish, doesn't bargain. It waits. Hell is the one that makes extravagant demands for sacrifice. Give me your joy, your spontaneity, your truth, your tears, your stillness. Hell asks you to bleed for worthiness. But heaven just asks you to come home. You lose nothing in these moments. Not when you present yourself undefended before your Creator, as you really are. Not a role, not a mask, not a history, just you. Think about it. Have you ever heard of Jesus getting into a scuffle? A heated argument? A screaming match? A spat? No, because when you're rooted in truth, there's nothing to defend. The people we fear, the ones who control through violence, they aren't followed. They're forgotten. But Jesus, his following grows daily. Why? Because defenselessness is not weakness, it is divine strength. He has remembered you today, so now we remember him. For this is Easter time in your salvation. You rise again from what looked like death, from what felt like hopelessness. Now the light of hope is reborn in you, because now you come without defense, and you're ready to meet the part of yourself that was never part of your plan. The part of you that was always part of his. What little magical plans still hold your loyalty? What dreams of control still glitter like fool's gold in your mind? When you've already been given your real function from the voice for God himself. What were those little plans anyway? Get rich. Get even. Be liked. Be noticed. Stay safe. Prove them wrong. All magic.